out there. Thank you for tuning in to this show. This is a sports wrap up with your people here. This is Stuart Iconz Uganda, the sports master, the sports presenter here at Elevate Voice TV. Today I've come with my big brothers that are live here in the studios. I can see Daniel Dean today has challenged me with Fry MLS t-shirt. I think he's a fan of Arsenal. I have my brother here. He's going to introduce himself. I can see things like the FC. So we are so humbled and delighted to have you here at Elevate Voice TV, as we are going to give you all what it takes in the world of football. Not only in football, we are going to give you all what it takes in soccer, concerning netball. I think our team Uganda is in London for National League in a netball. So I think my brother Dean will talk about it. But we are so delighted to have you at Elevate Voice TV. Always follow us, always watch us. And so we are going to analyze on football, we are going to analyze on netball. So don't touch on your die, we are here for you. So boys, I call you boys because I know none of you has a wife. Yeah, like for my have a wife, you can always call me a man. Daniel Dean.
Yes.
Welcome from the other weekend. I'm so grateful to have you in this show, so you can introduce yourself. You greet the people outside there. You tell them what you have according to the greetings. Yeah.
Thank you so much, our viewers. We are so glad to have you another time on Elevate Voice TV. We are so happy. We are happy for you viewing us every time, every hour, every minute. We are so humbled. We cannot take it for granted. We are so happy. Now we come this week with a lot of sports news, not only football, but even other sports that we have, both locally, nationally, Africa at large. Then we go outside the country, outside Africa, in Europe, and move on.
I always love the way you do it.
You
know, when you're making a sport analysis, I'm always wondering, this man.
Hey.
But today you have showed me, the team you supported.
Of course, you have to
I
show
can see
yourself.
the team you support.
You
So
have to
people
show
outside there, Daniel Dean, we are here for you for the sports show. I think it's not an Arsenal fan. We are going to analyze how football is always, because as a sports analyzer, he knows what is going on usually in our teams, especially as we are going to talk about teams from the big league, Ugandan big league. We shall talk about the teams from Ugandan Premier League, and your teams that you love in Europe and even Asia. We shall talk about everything concerning soccer. Now, my brother, welcome to this show. This is Elevate Voice TV. We are so delighted to have you. So you can greet people outside there as we start the show.
Good evening, everyone outside there. This is Kantano Ismail, also known as Ismail AK. I'm the chairman of SID FC, which participates in the Country League, the most competitive league, I think, in Kawana district. I'm so glad to have been hosted here by Elevate Voice TV. Thank you, Brother Stuart, for bringing me here. It's my first time to be hosted in a studio. So thank you, Brother Stuart. On behalf of SID FC, I love my team, SID FC, which participates in the Country League. I really love
when you talk of the FC, now I start making some flashbacks.
Now I would like to know, why is it called Omsidi? How did it come? The origin?
He's going to tell us.
Hey.
He's going to tell us. Your people outside there. We have Ishamel, as you have heard, is the chairman of the FC that is participating in the Catrico League. I remember the other week when we were here, we talked about developing our young talents through these leagues. We talked about Catrico League, the Stakon League, the Teso League, whichever league it is. I know there you have your young talents and they need to grow as talent is concerned. So we are here with one of the best sports analyzers on sports concerning the developing our young talents, the chairman of the club. He knows what is always troubling some of the clubs in certain leagues, and even our clubs. I know you're there, you have maybe a club, maybe a sports club, you want supporters, maybe you want some people to come, maybe fund as sports is concerned. So the boy is here, is very smart in almost the FC t-shirt. You are welcome here. Thank you so much. So we are going to start, but before maybe we start with the local scene. Last week we talked about the Uganda Premier League. We talked about our team, Uganda Cranes, being in the camp with a provisional squad with the head coach Paul Oput. But I think starting with next week, Uganda Premier League is resuming as our young talents who are in the training, they try to get in their leagues, in their clubs, to play their usual matches. And I think even the big league is resuming very soon on Tuesday, as we are going to give you the results. And starting with the Uganda Big League, Ugandan Big League, remember the other 2 weeks we are in the Uganda Cup. These teams were participating in the Uganda Cup. Those in Western region, in the region of Teso, those in region leagues, and they are playing with teams from the Uganda Premier League, the Uganda Big League. So now we are having 4 matches of the Uganda Big League. Wihinda is versus Calvary. We have Arua Hill versus Blacks Power. We have Usoga versus Kataka FC. We have Gaddafi FC, Kaloka Lunji, that is Kaloka Lunji from Ibanda. We have teams like Maida FC battling with Chiinda Boys. We have Tunga Saze battling with Chigezo Homeboys. Chigezo Homeboys will be away from home. And we have the Pride Black Angels will be playing Odumpalaka. We saw Odumpalaka winning with 3-0 in the Uganda Cup. So they are shining, they are trying to bring out the talent. And we see the Blacks Power will again play Boma in the coming days. That is 2nd of February. So let us not forget, always go and support our teams there in the Uganda Big League. They are always promising teams. So remember, this Uganda Premier League is the 2nd league after Uganda Premier League. So these teams, they always choose the first 3 teams to join the Uganda Premier League. So let us always go where our teams are always playing and support them, give them a support. At least it brings morale to our prayers. Mr. Daniel, you can talk about the Uganda Big League. Uganda Big League, after seeing the performance by the Blacks Power in the Uganda Cup, the Odumpalaka, we saw the performance of Calvary. When we try to look at the table, we see Gaddafi. I think he has in the 5 last matches, it has 1 draw, 1 loss, and 3 wins, 3 consecutive wins. The Blacks Power in the 2nd. They are promising us that they can join the Uganda Premier League.
Actually, the performance is not worrying. They are trying to show up some kind of good performance to come and compete and show some challenge in the Uganda Premier League, and that could be a very good picture and should actually also act as a sign of warning maybe to the teams in the relegation zone to expect a new challenge in the Uganda Premier League, because teams are not are working hard to see that they come back. We see on Parker was like that the other season, then relegated. So they should expect a new challenge.
Actually, we see teams like NEC FC has just left the Uganda Big League, but they have joined the Uganda Premier League and they have really showed who they are. Actually, NEC is in the 2nd position. It has just joined this season, and we see teams like Chitala joined the other season, and actually it was contesting for the title of the league. So we think these teams, they need support. Calvary in the 3rd position with 25 points. I think there is a tie between Gaddafi FC and Blacks Power.
Yeah.
Gaddafi FC has 30 points, Blacks Power has 29, and Calvary has 25. You can see they are trying to battle themselves as as they qualify for the Uganda Premier League.
So teams coming out of the big league normally show up a very good challenge to the teams they find in the main Ugandan league.
Actually, NEC FC is becoming the example that they can challenge.
Actually, I've been seeing even Kitara how the season started when it was not good, but now we are seeing Kitara in the top 10. It is around the 7th position, I think. Yeah, the 7th position. So Kitara, you're seeing they're trying to do a very great job.
Okay, thank you, Brother Daniel, on making a touch on the Uganda Big League. Now we are going to talk about our local leagues, and that is the Katriko League. And today we happen to have one of the chairman of the clubs from the Katriko League, representing of Omsid FC. Ishanel,
Yes, sir.
how is Omsid FC?
Omsid FC shining.
It is shining. So you are in the first position.
Now, currently we sit in the 6th position, but we have the same points with Indiaburo 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So Omsid FC is of which year? Because I understand in those schools they always have their leagues according to the years.
Omsid FC, we called Omsid FC. In short, it was a class that unites all students that studied at Kabale Trinity College from year 2016 up to year 2022. Those are 6 years. So that's where we came. That's where we come and call the team Omsid FC. And in our local language, we mean beans. Yeah, that
Beans.
is the sauce. Yeah.
Beans,
That is the sauce. Yeah.
So you have tried to remind me of the terms that we usually have in those high schools.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chairman, how is your team prepared for the next outing? How is your team prepared, and how are you capable and how are you confident that you can take the trophy? I think we still have more outings for the season. You still have more outings. How are you prepared?
Yes, Katriko League has many teams, around 16 teams. It is a competitive local league from Kawa district. Yes, as we currently sit the 6th position, but me as the chairman of the team, in partnership with the team captain, as well as the team spiritual leader, Mr. Stuart, we are working hard to see us go on top of the table as our next fixtures, which are on 9th February this year.
So the next outing is there on 9th Feb. So you are preparing for the next outing. So how are you preparing the players? Because now we want to bring out this issue where we want to know our talents, because we always want to develop young talents, those in high schools, those in at campus, those in universities, on the streets. We want to bring those young talents at least fit in some leagues so that they can be spotted. Because there is no one who knew that maybe Dennis Omedo from Chitala FC can maybe sign for a club outside Uganda. So how are you preparing your players to make sure that even if someone comes and wants to spot someone to take him in his club, in other clubs or teams that even are beyond that league, they can spot those talents? How are you preparing players already?
So as the chairman of CDFC, those people who elected me, those people who put me as their chairman, they really trusted me. So that's why I'm working hard with the organization structure of CDFC, where I have Jonathan Kent, my team captain. I regard to him wherever he is right now. I thank my fellow executive committee members who are working tirelessly to see the team grow into a bigger team that can compete for trophies in the Katriko League as well as in Uganda as well. And those young talents will use us as an example to themselves. Because when we grew up, we found teams like Exclusives, where Joshua Mesut is the publicist. Those are the years of like 10 years ago, I think. So we learned from them, and we see what football brings to us. Not only competing for trophies, but also unites us together. We come to know each other, we share memories, and the young people can see us and learn from us. So I call upon those young talents, those people in the villages. Maybe school you may have failed to attend school, but you can join sports. Not only football, you can join basketball, can join volleyball, you can join any other kind of sport. So where you have talent, right? So Mr. Stuart, that is it.
Now, Mr. Shamel, before we move further,
Yes.
you wanted to inquire something about your team.
Yes.
Does it end on CDFC, or you move on with your players? Like, if a player gets as CDFC,
Yes.
how do you connect your players to their upper level where they look, or their future prospect on teams, or on their future teams that they would like to join, apart from CDFC?
Yeah, every player has his or her dream as sports is concerned. So based on your request asking me about where my players should maybe where my players look in the future according to the teams they wish to join. So my player, I'm one of CDFC players. Yes, we are students. But we pray in various universities. CDFC connects different universities: Kabbalah University, Mbara University of Sciences and Technologies, Bishop Stuart University, Makerere University, Chambogo University, Kampala International University. So those universities have got campus teams. And when like a player of CDFC has talent, is playing in Catholic League. So those people were playing with other people. Those people who invest in sports, I can say, maybe there are sportsmen and women who may come at the league to spot some talent. So you never know, someone may be spotted and can be taken to a higher club. So that's why I say we need to, young people should learn from us who have just joined. I myself, I started playing football when I joined Kabbalah Trinity College in S1. I played football since senior 1 up to S6. Up to now, I still play football. I really like football. By the way, I'm a fan of Manchester United, Mr.
So you were seated with Arsenal fan. Okay. The Catholic League, I tried top fixtures here, and it is the first outing, and they will be in Zambia. That is Yes Center Arena.
Yes.
So if you're there out there and you're free on 9th, you can maybe transport of 5K, 4K according to where you are. Maybe you are a student of UCU Mukono, you can use 10K, you come to Zambia, that is Yes Center Arena. You watch these matches, at least you can be interested and pick something. We see CDFC had 3 matches on 9th, and they are playing CDFC, that is the year of 2015. And I can say CDFC is playing a number, that is 2005.
Yeah.
And they are playing another match, I think after lunch. They are playing which team? Which team they are playing? They are playing Nabodie 2008. So let me hope everything shall get better for CDFC. And I tried to consult and to get the result, the fixtures of Stockholm League from one of the team coach, that is Kranima of Itaka. Because I know Kranima is there watching us, and I think you're going to bring your fixtures here at Elevate Voice TV, which I think their outing is very soon, over this weekend or next week. But we shall try to communicate. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ishaman, for giving us updates on Catholic League, and we are here for you. We are here to give you all the best concerning the soccer is concerned. So, Daniel, I think we can first start from there and talk about the Uganda Premier League. Remember, we are the matches were postponed due to Uganda Cup. We can call it the FA Cup of Uganda. And teams tried to qualify. Almost all of them I tried to see in the results. All the teams tried to qualify. They tried to qualify. So now we are going to see the fixtures. I think they are playing on Tuesday and Wednesday. We shall make a touch on these fixtures in only 1 or 2 minutes. Then we see the national team, how they are preparing. Of course, I told you Paul Put had a provisional squad that he was with in the training camp. So we shall give it to you. Then we go to the international scene. On Wednesday, that is 12, so we shall be having Express versus Bull.
We are starting on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. 11th
Tuesday.
February, yeah.
So we need to first make a touch on matches of Tuesday. That is Waxo Giants playing Villa.
Exactly.
And remember what we talked about last time. The performance of Villa is not good. We say Vipers playing URA. That is a very nice match to watch.
Yes.
Vipers versus URA. We see Rugazi FC playing the Police. That is on Wednesday. I think on Tuesday we shall be having two matches. The Waxo Giants versus Sports Club Villa, Jogo Salongo versus Vipers playing with URA. You can make a touch in 1 minute. Daniel.
Now to see the match day game shall be mainly against Vipers, between Vipers and URA, and it will be a very good game to watch for those who will be able to watch, to go to watch it live at the stadium. Maybe for those who will not be able, it will be available on TV. But we want to, before we go to the statistics and what and so whatever, you can help, you can get betting tips on Elevate Voice TV directly on our social media pages. For more information, for more
YouTube.
betting and such stuff, you can visit Elevate Voice TV. Now to go on the game, Wakiso Giants versus Villa. Villa has not been having quite an convincing performance for the few games that it had. We expect, but I might give it a win, maybe.
Villa winning Wakiso Giants. Wakiso Giants at home. Yes, Villa versus URA. That is a tight game. I think there will be a lot of drama in that match. Remember, Villa is trying to pull out. The defending champion. So
I will give it a win.
You are giving it a win. Then Vipers versus
Vipers, it will be also a very big game of the week. Let's give Vipers a win.
Okay, on Wednesday we have Rugazi versus Police, and we have Maroons on Wednesday playing Bright Stars, and we have Express FC versus Bull. Of course, Bull has been trying on its best. You have UPDF versus Chitala FC. You know, Chitala these days is trying to score. That even when it is scoring, it is in the 7th position. I don't know why. Then we see Mbara Heroes playing Mbara City. Mbara City is away from home. Remember last time we put the torch on Mbara City concerning their performance all along ever since they joined the Uganda Premier League. And we have NEC FC, team on fire, of course hosting KCCA FC at home on Thursday. That is the last match. UPDF, Mbara Heroes and KCCA, those matches are on Thursday. So you can put a touch in 1 or 2 matches, then we continue. Daniel?
Maybe to talk about the match between NEC KCCA, we are seeing NEC is ahead of KCCA by 6 points. But you see, NEC has been having also a very impressive performance in the last matches they had compared to KCCA. It will be a tight game to watch and a very entertaining one. Let's wait for it.
Ishaman, as we wrap up with the Uganda Premier League, you can tell us in general, what do you expect this season in the Uganda Premier League? We see Vipers are in the first position with 34 points. And NEC in the second position with 33 points. That is a tie and a difference of just one difference of goal point. And we see KCCA in the third position with 27, as Daniel has said, just a difference of 6 points from the one in second, that is NEC FC. Express in the fourth position with 25 points, and URA in the fifth position. What do you expect, especially concerning the performance of the Mbara City, the Wakiso Giants in the 14th position, the relegation zone teams, the Bull FC in the 9th, Villa, the defending champions, they are in the 8th position. Chitala, they are trying to score, they score 7 goals. In the next match, they lose, they are in the 7th position. What do you expect in the Uganda Premier League?
The Uganda Premier League, like we know, everyone knows football is football. You never know what comes in football. Vipers has defended, has taken many trophies, not like Villa, which has just come up to take a trophy. That's why we say football is football. Anytime you never know, Nick can pull Vipers on the table, and Nick becomes the first one. But I think Vipers is really good. It's really promising. Vipers, its players know what to do. So that's what I can say, Mr. Stuart.
Okay, thank you so much, Ishamel. And concerning the Uganda Cranes, that is our team, Uganda Cranes. And after nominations, and I think after even the group stages of CHAN, that is the CHAN 2025, after knowing Uganda whom to get in the Uganda in the CHAN. Uganda, I think it has been in a camp for these last weeks. I think the head coach, Paul Port, wants to show us that indeed is the coach who can put Uganda on map.
Create a difference.
Yeah, create a difference. I think in his last matches, he just lost one and won 4 matches. I think even the provisional squad, you called Hannington Sebga Rinyo from NEC FC, that is the goalkeeper. Matiabiri Mugorofa from KCCA, Joel Matakuga, that is Bully FC. We have Christopher Kusima from Kigitala FC. They were in the camp, in the training. Defenders like Gavin Chizito from KCCA, Gideon Odongo from NEC, Moses Alilo URA, Derek Yaliho from Vipers, Eno Kawarisimbi URA, Arnold Odongo, Villa, Rogers Tolanch from Vipers. We have William Mukundane from Vipers, Walter Ochola from Bull FC. We have James Besiga Mpezi from URA. We have Nicholas Mwele from Bull FC. We have Paulo Mbowa from Vipers FC. Midfielders like Joel Serunjoji from KCCA, Enoka Sembagala from NEC. We have Ibrahim Tembo from NEC, Emmanuel Waswa Express. We have Rogers Sechiganda from Villa. We have Alan Okelo from Villa. We have Said Mayanja, KCCA. Brian Ijala from KCCA. Patrick Jonah Kakande, that is Villa. We have Isma Magala from Masaka Shining, Sunshine FC. We have strikers like Akimi Chiwanuka. We have Milton Kalisa from Vipers. Dennis Omedi, I think he has just left Uganda, joining a club in Rwanda. So I think he's out of the squad for CHAN, because CHAN is always we are using in the domestic leagues. We have Jude Semugabi, that is Stala FC. Shafik Nanach Huichiliza from KCCA. Paulo Muchules from NEC FC. Isaac Ogwang, James Gorobi, Masaka Sunshine, and Sadak Hape Anaku from KCCA, and Charles Rwanga. Daniel, concerning the provisional squad that has been in training, you make a touch as we see Uganda is in the group, that is Group C, where they are going to play Niger, they are going to play Guinea. We have rivals like Kenya playing Morocco, Angola, DRC, Congo, and Zambia in the Group A. We see Group B with Tanzania, those are rivals. Tanzania, Madagascar, Mauritania, Guinea-Bissau, and Central African Republic, that is Group B. Then Uganda, we are in the Group C. Then Group D, we have Senegal, we have Congo, Sudan. Yeah. So now, concerning teams that are going to play Uganda,
maybe I may not have some much information about the provisional squad that was provided by the Uganda Cranes coach Paul Put, but I think according to him, he has so much trust in his boys, because that is what we call sporting talent. Because out of that, they will be identified, maybe maintained, maybe spotted by the foreign teams. Nothing much, but all in all, he has trust in them, and we expect the best out of them. And maybe they are going to even face a very big challenge out of those countries that may have had some good experience where we may have for the two positions that have not yet been fulfilled filled. There are countries: Egypt, South Africa, Comoros, Gabon, and then Zambia that have not yet played. They have those matches to play. Then we get the two countries that will fill the Group C in order to have a complete group of the opponents that Uganda is going to face.
Okay, the FIFA Under 17 Women World Cup, that is Uganda qualifications. Of course, they've just won Namibia with 2-0 as they are trying to qualify the World Cup. I think Uganda Cranes Under 17 women, they are trying. The She Cranes Under 17, they are trying to pull it out so that they can be in the World Cup. Of course, they have tried. They have always managed to be there, so they have experience in that. Concerning the netball, you can give us a hint concerning
the netball. We are so glad that Uganda qualified for the Vitality Nations Netball Championship, which will be taking place in London, in Nottingham, starting with this weekend. Whereby we have countries like Uganda, we have South Africa, we have Jamaica, we have England that have qualified for that championship, and those games are going to start right away tomorrow, the 1st of February, and they're going to take place for only 2 weekends. We have Uganda will be facing I think South Africa. Will be facing South Africa, and it is not an easy game.
South Africa is actually based in netball in Africa,
because we have England, which is ranked the best now, but now followed by the 3 African countries where we have Uganda, we have Zambia, and South Africa. Because last year we saw how Uganda battled with South Africa in the finals of the African Netball Championship, where South Africa won Uganda, but it was a tight game. It won Uganda by only 1 goal. But we are expecting Uganda, the Uganda She Cranes.
Of course, you cannot rule out Uganda in netball. At least you can rule it out in football, but in netball they have been promising.
They are doing
the moment they go out, Uganda in athletics and netball, they are always showing up and at least putting Uganda on map. So let us pray for them. So for the best.
So we hope Uganda to show up a very good performance, and in this the team we have here, we have Penlo Pamia, Gloria Aya, Margaret Bagala, Mary Nuba Chalok, Irene Yaru, Christine Namlumba Kango, Privas Kayen, Anisha Mohammed, Nasim Mutesi, Sandra Nambike, Hindu Namtebi, Rachel Nanyonga, Joan Rieko both, and then the coach Rashid Mubiru. I think it will be a very good team, and we hope for the best success.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. And concerning the local and national scene, we can maybe stop from there. We are coming with more.
Welcome back, our dear viewers. We are so happy and glad to have you on this Elevate Voice TV. Yet from that short break, and we continue with our international news, sports news. And in our sports news, we normally have this aspect of did you know, a fun fact in sports, not only football, but because football is part of sport. So we bring you a fun fact in football that did you know that the longest match in record lasted for 35 hours. This was a game played in Scotland in 2016, and the main aim of this game was to solicit funds for the people that were suffering from cancer in Scotland.
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Daniel, for such do you know. Of course, some of us we always want to know in the world of sports. Some of us we don't know anything. So thank you so much for bringing that to your attention. So strictly we shall go to English Premier League. Of course, last week we left when these some of the fixtures we are still uphold as we are waiting for the praise and matches to be played. And we saw a match of Southampton playing in Newcastle. Full time it ended 3-1 in favor of Newcastle, and we saw a match. It was so fantastic, a very dramatic match of Wolves versus Arsenal. Of course, my brothers will talk about how it was, and it has been so much in speculations of how that match went on by the referee Michael Oliver. So they will talk about it. We saw a match, it was so massive. Bournemouth winning Nottingham with a very big and a great win of 5-0. Nottingham, the team on form. We see Man City, of course, Man City won Chelsea with 3-1. Chelsea fasting behind the net, but by Madueke, but later Man City came up and won. We saw Man City having their new players at the team. Omar Mamosh playing and Haynes from Palmeiras in Brazil. They started the game. So we can see how Pepe Guardiola was desperate in that match. Maybe if they won him, I think he had no complaint, would not even complain to how his team is. But we appreciate Pepe Guardiola. He won with 3-1. There was a match between Tottenham Hotspurs, the team of form, of course, losing against Leicester 2-1. Yes, struggling to win. And we saw a game of Crystal Palace versus Brentford, and I think Crystal Palace, of course, is also struggling these days. Brentford won with 2-1. Aston Villa and West Ham. Of course, this is the first point for the new coach at West Ham. Yeah, that is Graham Potter. And Fulham against Manchester United. So, Ishamel, a fan of Manchester United. So let us make a touch. Let us make a touch and in the results of the last weekend, as we even make a touch in the fixtures of this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. So how was the weekend? You can talk about how it was.
Giving a recap on last weekend's results, the most surprise was like from the match of Bournemouth versus Nottingham Forest, where Bournemouth had a great win, winning 5-0. That everyone could not expect that from those teams that are really performing well from Europe. That was the biggest win and for Bournemouth. And then the match for Arsenal versus Wolves, where there was 2 red cards, and after where Wolves. Where Arsenal got a red card in the first half, but managed to control the ball 3-0 and wins the match after Wolves' red card. So, but Arsenal versus Wolves, the referee Michael Oliver was his, I think, decision about red card to that youngster of Arsenal.
Lewis Kelly. Actually, I tried to watch that game and I tried to overwatch the contact. The contact of Skelly, and I don't think since I don't know how to referee. I don't know how refereeing is concerned. Maybe yes, it was a kind of a contact, but I think most of the sports pundits, they have tried to talk about it that it was fake. Daniel,
it was the contact was not fake. Only that such kind of a foul was supposed to be given a yellow card. Yeah. At least you have given like an indirect red card, but not a direct red card. Yes. That's why it was overturned by FA.
I think the player of the weekend was Dango Tara from Bournemouth scoring a hat-trick. Yeah, the man was on fire. We see Kuluvat, of course Kuluvat. I remember the other weekend scored 2 goals, so he's on fire also, giving an opening goal. Tottenham, Ishamel, talk about Tottenham. What is challenging Tottenham as a team?
Yeah, talking about Tottenham, I think Tottenham has really lost form. It has really lost form based on its past results. To be beaten by a team that is struggling to be in relegation is really terrifying for a team like Tottenham. Even when it is at home, it should have at least picked up a draw from a team like Leicester City, which is struggling to stay in the Premier League. Really, Tottenham is not doing well. I can say maybe it's because of some injuries. Most of its defenders have injuries, and maybe the team is aware the team is not performing well.
Okay, we see Manchester trying to fight back against Chelsea, of course, with Noni Madueke giving an opener in the second minute.
In the second minute.
In the second minute. So we see Manchester trying to fight back. I think we talked about it, Daniel, last week concerning the new signings of Pepe Guardiola. We saw Omar Mamosh starting. Actually, he scored a goal and it was cancelled by VAR.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes, we see also he prayed. He was given some minutes to pray. So I think, should we think Pepe Guardiola was desperate?
Because of course she was desperate from the beginning of the match and a few minutes of the opening minutes of the game. There were some, I may call them silly mistakes from the new signing Kusanov, where he did some kind of an impressive defending that caused the opening goal from Chelsea by Noni Madueke. So he went ahead and did some mistakes again, but he later gained some confidence from his fellow players. I think they realized that, and he was just signaled by Pep to a signal was passed to Akanji to help him to fight back, because they were leaving him behind. So that's why they found it hard for him to maintain the game up to the 90th minute. So it was not a good signing for Man City, but let's give him time.
Of course, it was his first match. Of course, we cannot judge him. He's trying to cope up. Premier League doesn't need pressure, and we have seen Manchester letting Ken Walker leaving the club to Milan on loan. I think Pepe Guardiola is trying to show him that he's needed at the club. So this week we have matches, and of course we have fixtures. We have Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. That is an early kick-off tomorrow. We have Newcastle versus Fulham. That is a very big game to watch. Newcastle versus Fulham. They are trying to fight back. We have Everton versus Leicester City. We have Ipswich Town versus Southampton. Now Ipswich Town versus Southampton. Yeah, there's also a nice game to watch, because they are trying to fight back also out of the relegation zone. We have Bournemouth, team on fire versus Liverpool. Maybe should we think that Liverpool is losing this weekend? We have Wolves versus Aston Villa. We have Manchester United versus Crystal Palace. We have Brentford on Sunday versus Tottenham Hotspurs. I think Tottenham is going to lose another game.
Anything can happen in football.
So we have Arsenal. That is a very big game versus Man City. If you still remember what it was in the first leg, Arsenal drawing Manchester United with 2-2 with a red card. Arsenal was just, they had 9 players that they pitched, 10 players that they pitched, but they tried to fight back with a draw of 2-2. Now they are at Emirates Stadium with Manchester and Chelsea. That is the last game on Monday. Monday Night Football, Chelsea versus West Ham. Let us make a touch in a few minutes on the fixtures. I think the big match, Arsenal versus Manchester. You can make a touch of Bournemouth versus Liverpool.
Maybe to begin with Arsenal Man City, to be a tight game, and Arsenal will have to miss some of their players, where we have Bukayo Saka will not be available. Who else? They will not be available, a couple of players, but Man City
I think Ethan Ranieri, who scored the second goal in the Champions League, is now back.
He may not be fit.
And Arsenal is trying tonight to sign maybe one of the strikers, since it's the deadline day.
Exactly, but we shall, as an Arsenal fan, I have to confirm, we shall have a win.
Against Manchester.
We are home. We are going to take the home advantage. We are going to have the home
I love the confidence.
Yes.
I love the confidence. So Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, Daniel Dean is saying that Arsenal is winning Manchester, having that confidence that Arsenal is at Emirates Stadium. Of course, you can make a touch. Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Daniel, Liverpool versus Bournemouth.
Liverpool, Bournemouth. I don't. I may not expect a very big. It may be a challenge, a very serious challenge, but it will be a win for Liverpool.
But because Alan Slot had arrested his men, that's why he lost.
Yeah, of course, he lost.
So, which means he's so much
PSV
prepared
for this weekend game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think Ishamel, you'll make a touch as a Manchester United fan. I think Manchester United tried to fight out.
He might give his prediction on those two games. So.
Yes, fought out last weekend, winning 1-0 against Fulham.
Yeah.
It was a tight game. Manchester United continues to show us that he's struggling. So you can make a touch in 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Manchester United, but my Man U, I think we are not good at the back of scoring goals. So that's why most of the times we make draws or lose 1-0. Our strikers are not good enough to score goals. You see, like Hotland just running here and down, but doing nothing in the game. Cannot have a shot on target even in a single match. So Man U versus Crystal Palace this weekend, I think based on past results, Man U and Crystal Palace, really, it's a big game for me. It's a big game for me. Everyone knows Crystal Palace.
So you cannot rule out Crystal Palace winning Manchester United?
No, I cannot.
Maybe a goal.
Maybe a goal.
So those with betting tips, we are giving a goal. Crystal Palace has to score because United is always conceding.
Yeah.
And I think we can make a touch on the match of Wolves versus Aston Villa. Wolves is a team that is always playing a game that is promising but is losing.
Has pace.
But they are losing.
They lose.
They have good players like Achuna, who was in transfer speculations for this winter, joining Arsenal and other teams. So, Daniel, Aston Villa, Wolves. We saw Aston Villa qualifying for Champions League.
Exactly, we shall have to face a very big challenge from Aston Villa to Wolves. Remember, Wolves will be home, but I may give a win to Aston Villa.
A win to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
We also having a match day 15 match for Liverpool. It is also coming against Everton.
It is on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah. So, do you think Liverpool can be in the first position with a difference of 9 points?
It can. Anything can happen. It can.
Already the boys are knowing what they want right now. They have already seen something in front of them.
It can. So but we also expect to put some challenge on them.
Yeah.
Because these days, of course, Everton is trying to fight out. They are trying to score these days. Everton was the team that was not scoring, but these days they are trying to score. So this week we had Champions League, and of course we saw teams qualifying. And to my surprise, the 3 English Premier League teams qualified. That is Aston Villa in the 8th position, Arsenal in the 3rd position, and Liverpool taking it over in the 1st position. And of course, they were favourites because Aston Villa started with fire. They were winning match per match. Every match they would win. So Aston Villa later on qualified. So we shall make a general touch on this Champions League. We try to wrap up the groups. And now we are entering the round of 16, where we are going to wait for the 8 from the knockouts. And I think knockouts will be, the session for us to watch. Most of the big clubs that with experienced players in this cup, Champions League, in Europe, they are all going to play playoffs.
Exactly.
Because we see teams like Arsenal qualifying. We see teams like Liverpool. I think last season wasn't in Champions League. Just Arsenal that I think stopped in quarterfinals last season. And we see teams like Milan, that is Inter Milan. We see teams like Barcelona qualifying directly. We see teams like Aston Villa, Atalanta qualifying in the first 8. So what do you think? What do you think, Ishabel? The Champions League, the knockouts with teams like PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, these teams that we think actually they are trophy contenders.
Champions League, the teams that are performing very well, I think Liverpool making it both in Premier League and Champions League. Really, they are so much promising. They are showing us something that they need something. You never know what comes in the future. But for me, I see Barcelona very promising than Liverpool when it comes to form. I see Barcelona very promising. Teams like Atalanta are on form. But Madrid, yes, wins every weekend, but it's not consistent.
Okay, we shall talk about Manchester in the Champions League, trying to fight back and finishing in the 23rd position. Of course, Pepe Guardiola was on pressure. We saw the team was Club Brugge with the first score, and I thought maybe Guardiola is leaving Champions League at that early stage. But Manchester winning 3-1, of course it is giving Guardiola his players, they are trying to come out from that sleep. And we saw Real Madrid winning Brest with 3-0. Yeah. A man on fire, Rodrigo. Yes, Rodrigo scoring 2 goals. Of course, you cannot rule him out. Yeah. Atalanta making 2-2 with Barcelona. I told you Atalanta in Champions League is on fire. Scores. Of course, we expected over. Cannot be underrated. We see Arsenal struggling to win Girona, but Mikel Arteta blowed maybe the second squad, I can say. Tried to make
most of the players because he knows what he wants.
Yeah, they rested as they are waiting for Manchester this weekend. Leverkusen winning Sparta Prague with 2-0. Dortmund versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Of course, Dortmund winning 3-1. Of course, I expected Dortmund, of course, to qualify. They are also scoring even when they are losing players. Bayern Munich, this time they won Slovenia, Bleva with 3-1. Bayern Munich is considered, even when they score, they are conceding. Yeah. Liverpool, of course, it was a very, very, very nice game to watch. Versus PSV and Hoven. 3-2 in favor of PSV. Of course, Liverpool had a red card in the last minutes, but of course they had scored them with 3 goals. Of course, also Mo Salah was on bench. He didn't start the game. Also, Liverpool tried to bring the second team, but they lost.
But the red card may not directly impact them.
Yeah.
Aston Villa scoring 4 goals against Celtic. We had Dynamo Zagreb winning Milan with 2-1. Milan had a red card. Yeah. Inter Milan scoring 3-0 against Monaco. Monaco with a red card. Yeah. We had RB Salzburg, Atletico Madrid, of course. But Atletico Madrid, though when they were out, they were the favorites. Sporting and Bologna 1-1. And Stuttgart versus PSG. Of course, PSG was trying to fight back. Yeah. Of course, to play the playoffs. So let us make a touch, the final touch, concerning the Champions League. We call it a show.
Maybe to begin with the qualified teams already. The qualified teams, maybe from the English side, we have seen an impressive performance from teams from England, because most of them have qualified. Because we see Aston Villa, we see Arsenal, we see Liverpool. But only Man City may face a challenge from the knockout. But we expect all the best from the English side, from the teams, and to challenge the other leagues.
Of course, draws were made, and Brest will take over PSG. Sporting Lisbon is taking over Dortmund. And Juventus is taking on PSV. PSV, after winning Liverpool, I think it was the last 25th position. Then Manchester taking over Real Madrid.
That's a good game.
And on Wednesday, Club Brugge will play Atalanta. Celtic playing Bayern Munich. Of course, Bayern Munich will I think will go through. We see Monaco playing Benfica, and lastly, we shall see Feyenoord playing Milan. And of course, these knockouts, it's home and away. Yeah, they are going to play home and away. Then they look for the last 8 that are going to join the other 8 teams to play the round of 16.
Yeah.
So, how do you think Man City, Real Madrid, these days they are struggling in Champions League?
Man City is struggling, but Madrid as the defending champion always, you know, Madrid is always tough in those final stages of Champions League. They may start bad, but that team knows where Ancelotti's men know what they mean at those final stages of Champions League. I think Madrid will take advantage of the struggling Man City.
I think Man City. Actually, I had someone yesterday. He told me that Madrid, they are trophy contenders. Yeah.
That's what
they can pass through everything. They struggle around, but eventually they end up on finals.
Yeah.
So we look forward to seeing on that day each of the teams bringing their best, performing their best.
Okay, let us wait for the next week for the champions as we are trying to look for the final 8 to join the 8 to be the 16 teams to play the round of 16. And of course, everything concerning the transfers. Today it is the transfer end of the winter, and I think most of the clubs they are trying to sign. Most of them they are dormant. They don't want to sign in this winter. Of course, it is not an active market. We saw Arsenal trying to sign, and that is all what iconz at £77 million from Aston Villa. We saw Walker leaving Man City to Milan, and of course, United is trying also to sign at least a player in this January winter. So we are waiting for the final transfer, and of course, as we are coming back, we shall always be telling you on how it is going. And of course, since it is the last day, we shall come with a transfer wrap-up concerning our teams, of whom they have lost and whom they have brought in the team, so that they can be strong. Some of them they are fighting the injury situation. Teams like Tottenham Hotspur with a lot of injuries, so they are trying to sign. Arsenal losing Saka for almost the rest of the season. They are trying to sign the replacement at least for this second leg. So we shall always give you all the best. This is Elbet Voice TV. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for being with us in this show. We are always grateful for you. Always follow us on YouTube, Twitter, that is X handles. Always follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us even on WhatsApp. Always follow and tap in subscribe on YouTube so that you can always keep in touch. Do not touch on your dial. Thank you so much.
We sign out.